Hello, hello. Welcome. Before we even get into today's episode, I just want to say welcome. This podcast has been on my heart for quite some time. So if you're here, you might be in a season where you're learning to choose yourself, maybe for the first time or maybe in a new and different way. Either way, I'm glad you're here. So Bourbon and Heartburn is for the ones who feel deeply. We love hard. And above all, we're just done settling for half-ass energy. Okay? We're going to be talking dating, situationships, friendships, self-worth, all of it. So we're going to be talking the messy, the healing, the what the hell am I doing, all those moments. Nothing's off limits here. So whether you're driving, getting ready, maybe you're going through it right now, or maybe you just need a reminder of who the fuck you are. Either way, I'm glad you're here. All right, let's get into it. Hey, babes. It's India. What's up? This is Bourbon and Heartburn, a Heart on Fire podcast. This is the place where we're going to talk about life, love, friendships, situationships, and not dimming your fucking light for anyone. I do cuss. I am direct. And yeah, you're going to feel seen. You're going to feel heard. But you're also maybe going to feel a little called out by the end of this, but I promise in the best way possible. So, yay. If I'm being honest, I am not someone coming on here having it all figured out by any means. I'm just coming on here as someone who just went through some shit and I chose myself. So, let's get into it. So, here's the thing. Sometimes the hardest people to walk away from, they're not the ones who treat you like shit. They're the ones who treat you just good enough to make you question your own intuition, your own self-worth. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Choosing yourself when everything feels great and everything looks good on paper, but then it feels really weird and off in your gut. Because walking away from chaos, it's easy, right? Walking away from chaos is easy, but walking away from an almost love, that's what breaks your heart. That's what breaks you, essentially. So I'm going to get a little personal through what I recently experienced. So I was dating this guy for 4 months, and from the jump, he told me he didn't want a relationship. He wasn't ready for a relationship. Cool. I love the honesty, respect. But then right off the rip, why are you acting like we're in one? I'm not kidding you. We talked all the time. We spent consistent time together, 1 to 2 times a week, on top of being parents and jobs and yada, yada, yada. Texting every single day. There's chemistry. There's connection. He's telling me he's not talking to anyone else. He doesn't want me to talk to anyone else. He's showing up just enough to make me feel, like, oh, this is something. This is something. This is special. And what makes it harder is it totally didn't feel one-sided. No, at all. It did not feel one-sided emotionally. Like, he acted attached. There were moments it genuinely felt like I wasn't just some casual thing to this man. Because he would say things like, if I was ready for a relationship, it would be you. Or he was like, you're the best woman I've truly ever met. It's unreal. There's no one in this world like you. And I'm hearing these things, these wonderful things, while I'm also hearing, I don't want a relationship. I'm not ready for a relationship. So my brain is like, okay. I'm trying to make sense of like 2 completely opposite realities, right? At the same exact time. And I did stay longer than I should have. Yes. Because, well, like I just said, all of that confusion I'm hearing. Because when someone's emotionally super warm and consistent and affectionate with you, but then they're verbally unavailable, emotionally unavailable, you start to think maybe timing. Oh, maybe it's just timing. Maybe it's not our time. Maybe timing's the issue. Maybe pressure is the issue. Maybe he feels pressure, Maybe I'm causing an issue because I want clarity. And slowly, without even realizing it, I started shrinking myself. I stopped asking questions I wanted to ask. I stopped expressing things I needed. I became, we all know her, the chill girl. I became the chill girl. And let me tell you something about the chill girl, okay? That bitch loses every time because you're not actually chill. Okay, you're just suppressing yourself to keep someone around just a little bit. And I started adjusting myself around his actions. My cat's in the camera. She wants to say hi. This is Moon. Hi. Say hi, Moon. She's a sweet girl. But I started adjusting myself around his actions. And there was this one time I told him that I was going to be going on a date or a couple dates because we weren't serious and I'm dating. And he got visibly upset. Cold, slow, short replies, distance for a few days. He was punishing me damn near. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Then he comes back, just acts all normal. Again, like nothing happened, right? No big deal. And he was even making jokes about how like he got mad. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. It's like, what? Anyway, another time I invited him to meet my friends at my house. We were all just chilling at my house, hanging out. And then our plans were changing last minute and there was a big group of us. So I wasn't sure what we were doing, where we were going. I told him, hey, don't come because I think we're about to head out. Later that night, basically told me, like accused me of not wanting him around my friends and like, oh, you're hiding something or you're hiding someone. Like, that's why you don't want me to come. But then, and I handled it really calmly. I was like, oh, I apologize. Like, da, da, da. But then a week later, he's back to, I don't want a relationship. I don't know why I acted that way anyway, because I don't even want a relationship. So I was constantly getting, two different versions of this man. And I wasn't confused because I was crazy, okay? I'm not confused because I'm insane. I'm confused because of all this inconsistent behavior. And I kept trying to stabilize something that was never stable, was never going to be stable. Because there were good moments too. There were really good moments. We would laugh for hours. We'd talk about traveling together, just lay there and talk about childhood stuff. Watch funny stuff on the TV, like we'd known each other forever. We'd talk about our children, like literally everything under the sun. And so we became emotionally bonded. And above all, what I'm most mad about, I cook for this man, okay? I'm talking real ass meals, okay? Not a microwave, love, okay? I'm a good ass cook. And let me tell you, this man has now made me want to gatekeep my cooking until that shit is earned. Earned. Okay? And he'd say things like, I'm going to make sure I get you something nice for your birthday. You deserve it because I remember you told me that nobody ever gets you anything, like your family doesn't get you anything really for your birthday, yada, yada, yada. So actually, over my birthday, he was in Florida with his friends. He had this trip planned. And he texted me every single day while he was there. And I'm not going to lie, that made me feel super special. But it's like confusing. I remember getting a text while he was in Florida and he was like, I think I'm in love with you. And I'm legitimately like smiling at my phone. Ugh, yikes. But then, my birthday comes around and that something nice that I deserve never happens. And it's those little things. Those little things start adding up. And I start seeing clearer with all these things like this. And it wasn't just one big betrayal. It's just this slow disconnect between words and actions. So much confusing. It's actually wild. And then the moment came where it ended it for me. My last and final straw. We had plans to go together, to hang out together for a night in Chicago. We were going on separate trips and going to hang out for a night there. He's texting me all week leading up to this, like normal. I can't wait to see you. Can't wait for this weekend. Can't wait for you to meet my friends because I was meeting his friends that weekend. We saw each other a couple times that week, like normal. And then the day comes and I don't hear from him until about 10 p.m. And he casually tells me his friends are wanting him to talk to another girl that night, like a setup type of thing. With one of the girls that was with another girl on the trip that they were meeting there. And I do want to mention here, okay, we had talked about this trip a few weeks prior to this, and he had explained he was going with some friends, and one of his friends was like talking to this girl from a different state, and her friends, like a group of guys and girls apparently, were coming to Chicago. And they were all meeting in Chicago for the weekend. He told me, hey, you should bring a girlfriend and you should come up too, and we'll hang out like one of the nights, yada, yada. So I invited my girl from a different state as well. I'm so excited. We got this planned out. But I asked him, I said, okay, like when this was all initially planned, he's telling me the situation. I asked him verbatim, well, are they trying to set you up with one of the girls? Are you going to be talking to one of the girls? Like, what's the sitch here, you know? Because it sounds kind of like it's a big kind of setup thing. He's like, no. Like, my cousin and I are going to be separate from them. Like, no, I would love it if you were there. It would be so much fun. I'd love for you to meet my friends. It'd be such a good time. We can just like all go out, have a good time, drink, have a good time, dance. So this man had plenty of time to tell me the actual situation. Anyway, he texted me at 10 p.m. that night and about this girl he wants this whatever. But he still expects me to show up like everything's fine, dance and have a good time. Wild behavior. That was the moment everything just snapped into clarity for me, because I realized I wasn't in something that was building at all. I realized I was in something that was just completely stalling, no foundation, and I was the only one treating it like it had any direction at all. And the lack of respect. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I didn't spiral. I just walked away. No response. No explanation. Explanation wouldn't even be heard anyway or understood. Nothing. Delete. Delete. Bye-bye. So let's talk about it, okay? Mixed signals, that's not confusion. That's inconsistency. And the breadcrumbing, that's not effort. That's control. That's their way of controlling you, controlling the situation. And then emotional unavailability, that's not something you can just love someone out of. And I really had to sit with that, because it's easy to make excuses for someone, especially when you really care for them and you like them. And if you're a super empathetic person, because you can make excuses like he's busy, he's been hurt before, he's just not ready. Okay, but ready for what? Because people who want you, they're not going to put themselves in positions to lose you. That's just not the way it is. And that was the shift for me. I stopped asking, why isn't he choosing me? And I started asking, okay, why am I choosing this? And let me tell you, like, that question humbled me really quick. Like, why am I choosing this? Walking away is not easy at all, by any means. You're gonna question yourself. You're gonna miss them, and you're gonna romanticize the good parts. And it's okay to remember the good parts. They're there. Be grateful for them. But let me tell you something. That pain, when you just walk away, that's clean. It's a clean pain, at least. It's growth. It's self-respect. It's knowing your worth. And you're breaking a fucking pattern. But staying, that's the kind of shit that just slowly chips away at your self-confidence. And we're not doing that. We are not doing that. And I know the urge, okay? You want to text him. You want to say your piece. You want to let them know they fucked up. Trust me, I get it. I have giraffes. Plural. Giraffes, okay? But here's the thing. Closure, it doesn't come from them finally understanding your worth. It comes from you deciding that you don't need them to understand it. Because picture this. Imagine I went that night and I'm in a hot ass outfit, because I'm trying to have fun, but I'm low key scanning the room. I'm watching him. I'm wondering who she is. I'm comparing myself. Ew, we're not doing that. Absolutely not. Hold up right there. That's not the life we're living anymore. We are not auditioning for a spot in someone's life. You hear that? We're not auditioning to be in someone's life. We are the main character. Period. So if you're listening to this and you're in something that feels confusing, inconsistent, or one-sided, this is your sign. You don't need more proof, okay? You don't need to wait for them to just magically become who you want them to be or who you've concocted up in your brain. You just need to choose you. Choose you. Feel the feels. Cry if you need to. Be pissed off. Scream at the on the tops of the mountains. But don't go back to something that required you to shrink yourself just to survive in it. Because choosing yourself, it's not just the right decision. It's your standard. It's your standard now. All right, babes. That's it for today. If this hit home, send it to your best friend, your sister, your group chat, because I promise you someone else needs to hear it. Because it's hard out there these days. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Stay bold, stay honest, and stay you.